If this guy isn't a shill, he's a complete and absolute idiot. Eisel, can you run around the block? I'm almost 20 years older than you. If we both got on bikes, I would absolutely slaughter you on my fruit diet. I don't know what diet you're eating. I don't even know if you're vegan. Who's paying you to say these things? That's what I want to know. Who's paying you? This guy is an imbecile. He's got to be a shill. Nobody could be that stupid. Somebody's paying him to spread this dark negativity like foul tentacles through the vegan YouTube movement.
À-bas-le-ciel.
I started to look at some of Eisel Mazard's videos. I thought he raised some interesting points, but I looked at one particular video and some of the things that he said just didn't measure up. He had a clip of someone else's video where they ate 5 mangoes for breakfast.
Why the hell would anyone wake up and eat 5 mangoes for breakfast?
Well, maybe because humans are frugivorous, we could start there. You start thinking, what's this guy getting at? He is scoffing at someone eating 5 mangoes for breakfast? I mean, come on, man, where's this guy coming from? So then he goes on to say that, you know, the dream is dead, the vegan YouTube dream is dead.
Still today, there are some people who are simultaneously buying and selling a dream that just can't be true. What is that dream? It's hard to talk about it now that it's finally dying, now that it's finally become something that's laughed at and regarded as embarrassing within veganism. The dream was that you could quit your day job, live on permanent vacation, make money promoting your lifestyle, and at the same time wrap that all up in the self-satisfied confidence that you were doing the most you can for the animals, for the environment, for the future of the planet, that you were making the world a better place through a new and thrilling form of politics that's almost completely apolitical.
So Eisel picks this YouTuber, a young, attractive YouTuber, as an example, showing how much effort she put into her Instagram and whatnot, and she's only getting maybe a couple hundred views a video, and then he says nobody cares.
This is one example. Obviously, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of examples, and you're going to see why I chose this. This is not a bad example. This is anything an above-average example. This young woman uses the screen name Mo Candy. I guess her full name is Moira Candy, something like that. Objectively, she's good-looking. Not my type, not a subjective statement, but I mean, you know, she's slim. She has piercing blue eyes. She has a lot of body art. She has a lot of tattoos. And even more rare, she has a huge advantage of living in one of the only places in the world, one of the few places that does have a big vegan population. She lives in Portland, Oregon. So she has the possibility to promote her channel really through a network of people who know each other face to face. It's a huge advantage most of us don't have. Most of us online, we're the only vegan in our town, or we don't know or get along with even 2 or 3 other vegans. And this young woman put quite some work into her Instagram account, into her videos, and so on. And nobody cares.
You know, there's just this negativity, like, don't even dream. Don't even get into YouTube if you're a vegan. Very discouraging. I mean, if you take this guy seriously, you'll want to jump off a bridge. It's just not true. There are many young female vegan YouTubers who are getting thousands and thousands of views. I encourage all young people to do YouTube. It's just to your advantage to do it. Do it now. Not if you take Ezel Mazard's advice because you're wasting your time having any kind of dream. And if that's not bad enough, it gets worse. He goes back to the mango eating. This person ate 6 more mangoes.
How did people convince themselves that eating 11 mangoes a day or 30 bananas a day, that this was not just something you should do, but something you should get on the internet and boast about? When I lived in Thailand and Laos, mangoes were extremely cheap and extremely high quality because they're farmed locally. Even when I was out there just getting a ton of exercise, just coping with life. You know, sorry, if you guys are new to my channel, I did humanitarian work, I did research, I was studying languages. I was not on permanent vacation. I was never on vacation. I was working my ass off intellectually and otherwise, and trying to do humanitarian work. I did manage to do a little bit of humanitarian work, but you do a lot more trying than you do getting in that field. I can remember eating 3 mangoes in a day. I don't know, maybe if they were small mangoes, maybe in the whole day I ate 4. But this young woman in Portland had 5 mangoes for breakfast, and then what, another 6 mangoes in the rest of the day? 6 mangoes for dinner? She ate 11 mangoes in one day. To me, looking back on this, I mean, 5 years in the future, 10 years in the future, when people were asking, what was this dream? This dream that took the internet by storm for a short time, and then it died. How did people convince themselves that eating 11 mangoes a day or 30 bananas a day, that this was not just something you should do, but something you should get on the internet and boast about?
I've eaten far more than that in one sitting. I eat till I've had enough of fruit because that's our biological design. Isn't that just obvious? 11 mangoes a day? That's like a decent sized meal for the whole day, and that's it? So, you know, all right, okay, if they're large mangoes, maybe, but that's not an extraordinary amount of food, not an extraordinary amount of fruit. Then he points to another vegan YouTuber, someone on Instagram and YouTube, who said that they changed their diet. Now they're incorporating whole grains into their diet, which is a lot more balanced and makes a lot more sense.
Or people were afraid to admit that they stopped eating in this crazy way. This young woman I chose in Portland, Mo Candy, I just checked her Instagram. She has changed her diet. She's switched to eating a much more balanced diet with a lot of grains involved, and she even admits that she now drinks beer. What a shock. So she's now given up many of the crucial tenets of the high carb, low fat lifestyle. Not all of them, maybe, but you know, having grains as the staple of your diet, as opposed to mangoes as the staple of your diet, makes a lot of sense, even if you live in Southeast Asia.
This guy knows nothing. Is he a shill? I thought he was a shill in the beginning, but now I'm beginning to think that he really is probably a shill. Somebody is paying him to spread this negativity in the vegan YouTube community.
Join my Patreon anyway, because Patreon right now is the only income I have on planet Earth.
But then he goes on to say something even more damning, that for some reason these fruitarians actually think that their fruit is better than medical doctors. Medical doctors!
The faith healing element. The natural medicine element, the delusions of fruit being better than modern medical science.
If this guy isn't a shill, he's a complete and absolute idiot. He's a theorist, as I accused him to be 2.5 years ago. I mean, he can't even run around can this guy even run around the block? Ezel, can you run around the block? I'm almost 20 years older than you. If we both got on bikes, I would absolutely slaughter you on my fruit diet. I don't know what diet you're eating. I don't even know if you're vegan. Who's paying you to say these things? That's what I want to know. Who's paying you? So now the drugs prescribed by medical doctors are better than fruit. This is utterly ludicrous. The body can heal from any disease if it's allowed to. Then he goes on to say that Crohn's disease is incurable, that it's ludicrous to think otherwise, to think that our fruit diet is going to heal us from anything.
Claiming they cured all kinds of diseases that are not curable.
Well, the body heals itself if you get out of its way. As I've said over and over again, if you want to improve your health, if you want to heal any disease, fruit and fasting is the way to do it. This guy, he's recommending whole grains over fruit. We're not grain eaters. Birds are the only species that I can think of that are natural grain eaters. We have to process grains at very high temperature. The fiber in grains is like glass. You want to get Crohn's disease? Eat a lot of wheat. Eat a lot of dairy. Eat a lot of foods high in lectin. Fruit and fasting, the body will heal anything. But Eisel says that these are incurable diseases, that it's ludicrous to think that we can heal them. Allopathic medicine is superior to fruit, our natural food. This guy is an imbecile. He's got to be a shill. Nobody could be that stupid. Somebody's paying him to spread this dark negativity like foul tentacles through the vegan YouTube movement.
À-bas-le-ciel.